Hello, my name's Sam Hopkins. I am the designer of Oscar. I'd like to tell you a little more about it. Oscar gives you the power of your favorite console or program in the palm of your hand, on stage, even in the dark, by feel alone. Oscar came about a couple of years ago through necessity of invention. I designed a one-woman show, and an idea was for her to operate the show herself from on stage. I looked at the available remotes and couldn't find one, so we built one from scratch. And it was originally just to control QLab and run her show, and that was a great success. And now we have what we see before us today, 2 years later. Let me run you through some of the features of Oscar. Oscar, as I said before, is a Wi-Fi based OSC controller that's open sound control, which is similar to MIDI, but a lot more granular. We have 3 ports of OSC, one for out, one for in, and we can stream data as well through a 3rd port. It has 5 buttons, a large go button and 4 smaller buttons, and we have an analog wheel here that we can use to send out data. It retains the flashlight from the original, so you can illuminate a performer up close or use it in the dark as a torch. So we've included a sophisticated 10 degrees of motion control. So there's motion processing inboard that we can stream outboard for XYZ orientation. And we have what's called haptic control. So it buzzes in your hand. It's something you can't feel when you're watching this video, but when I press the button, you get a nice vibration, and you can remotely send it a vibration too via OSC to give a performer a cue, for instance. We have a small screen here that enables configuration, and you can change mode and change settings on this, and then you can move from here to its built-in web server and its built-in website, where you can completely configure all of your button actions and your OSC messages and data sources. Now, we also have here, if you look, a 3.5mm jack port on the bottom, and this works in a number of ways. So in the first instance, we can plug in a headphone, an old pair of headphones, and take the earbuds off them, and you have now 2 contact closures, so 2 extra buttons that you can put in a hidden button in a jacket or a prop. And then you can also plug in a sensor, so maybe a small ultrasonic distance sensor. You can get telemetry through that. Turning it the other way, and Oscar has another ability as well. You look here, you can see Oscar running LEDs. And Oscar, when I was working in the props department on a movie recently, we needed many little things to run in props and costumes, and Oscar seemed like a perfect addition. So we added a universe of streaming E131 DMX data, which you can take in from your main console, and then we can do snapshots and record those snapshots. So effects can be stored on Oscar and replayed later via OSC or via the buttons. Oscar also includes its own LED engine and has a library of effects that we can modify on board or remotely. What's going to be really great about Oscar for me is finding out all the things that I haven't described that people will find to use it for. It's very simple in its execution, but Oscar is a very versatile tool for the performance technician on stage or off. I think you'll agree Oscar is in a category of its own with many varied and wide-ranging uses. Simple in execution and yet complex enough to fulfill the most demanding performance needs. It's time to take control with Oscar. If you'd like more information, go to www.oscar.com, and we'll be launching shortly. Thank you very much.